Last season, the New Orleans Saints entered competition almost universally expected to remain among the mediocrities of pro football after suffering through 3 straight 7-9 seasons. Those opinions were only confirmed further after the team stumbled out to a 0-2 record to open things up. But then a switch went on, the Saints rattled off 8 straight victories, won the NFC South Division Championship, and played in the postseason for the first time since 2013. They were 10 seconds away from playing for the NFC title against the Philadelphia Eagles when a freak game-winning score went the wrong way against the Minnesota Vikings. But now, in 2018, the Saints will look to repeat at NFC contenders and try to hoist the Lombardi Trophy in what would be an ideal situation, in the Falcons' home stadium in Atlanta. To get there, they have to win their games. And that could prove a difficult proposition, given that the NFL awarded the Saints with the second most difficult schedule in football when accounting for future opponents' wins and losses combined, behind just the Green Bay Packers, who have the hardest slate in the 2018 season. Moreover, the Saints proved to the league that they were worth a wider audience, given 5 prime-time, nationally televised games, compared to the 2 they had in 2017. Here are our suggestions for what percentage chances the Saints face to win each of their games this coming season. Saints chances, 72%. The Saints haven't won a home opener since 2013, but when playing the Bucs at home have won 6 of the last 7, outscoring their division rivals 227-124. Tampa clipped the Saints in the regular season finale last year, but this time around they view the Bucs as a team they should beat in any circumstance. Saints chances, 78%. The AFC North hopefuls did make a number of notable roster moves, including the addition of wide receiver Jarvis Landry, almost ensure that they'll win at least one game in 2018. This won't be it. The Saints are on a mission and they cannot afford to let a team with as many flaws as the Browns put this one in any doubt. Saints chances, 51%. The 2 bitter NFC South rivals could bring this series to a new level this season as both sides are legitimate contenders to represent the NFC for playoff berths. Matt Ryan can move the ball on anyone in theory, but their play calling took a major step backwards last season. The Saints are in top form in that department. It should be close, but this one goes to the home team. Saints chances, 64%. This one is a toss-up. Who knows what the Giants will look like this year? They could be another disaster under first-year head coach Pat Shurmur, or they could mount another 9-win campaign that propels them to a Super Bowl appearance. All the Saints need to know is that they can move the ball on this secondary if they want to. Saints chances, 70%. This offseason, the Redskins swapped Kirk Cousins for Alex Smith, king of the short passing game, but who should run into a stout front 7 that limits his chances of dinking and dunking down the field. Moreover, the Saints should have little issue moving the ball on the 32nd ranked run stop from 2017 with Mark Ingram playing in his first game back from suspension. Saints chances, 64%. What the Baltimore Ravens will look like this year is a very open question, but they have enough talent and coaching to make some noise, as they did last season when they were a fluke play away from getting back into the AFC playoffs. This game being on the road could hurt the Saints, who face a much stiffer test in their next outing. Saints chances, 46%. Doubtless, the Saints will say this is not a revenge game, but for fans, it is. The Vikings downed the Saints in Week 1 last year, then ripped their hearts out with that alleged miracle touchdown catch to advance to the NFC title game that the Saints were ready to play in. Kirk Cousins is manning the Vikes' pass game, but home field advantage could once again determine this matchup. Saints chances, 60%. It was the Rams and their NFL best-scoring offense that ended the Saints' 8-game win streak last November, but this time around the rematch is set to New Orleans, where the home team has been awfully hard to beat recently. The game being played in the Superdome gives the Saints the edge, but nothing is a given, especially after the Rams added Ndamukong Suh to a front line that already features Aaron Donald. This one will have to be earned. Saints chances, 76%. Briefly this offseason, it looked like Marvin Lewis finally would not be the Bengals head coach, but suddenly the team decided to bring him back after all, despite his not winning any of the 7 playoff games he has appeared in. Simply put, the Saints vastly outranked the Bengals in terms of firepower, and should come away with the victory. Saints chances, 51%. The world champions will present the Saints with perhaps their biggest challenge of the season, especially as they stand at 0-9 in their last 9 against the league's reigning Super Bowl champs. The game being at home is a major plus for the Saints, as Philadelphia remains one of the hardest places to play, and will be especially after the Birds won their first Lombardi. Drew Brees will have to get on the board early, and keep getting there to pull out the win. Saints chances, 75%. One of the most eagerly anticipated Saints games in recent memory. Two of the most heated rivals in pro football, both legitimate contenders to make a run in the playoffs, playing on Thanksgiving night, in the Superdome. Home field advantage could mean everything in this one, and that is something the Saints and Houdat Nation specialize in. Saints chances, 51%. The Saints have won 4 of their last 5 in Dallas, but the combination of Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott that the Cowboys missed so much last season will be in top gear by November. Those two, plus the atmosphere in Jerry World late in the season, could be enough for the Cowboys, but this should be one of their toughest home games of the year, too. If the Saints can suppress Elliott early, they can put the rhythm on their side. Saints chances, 65%. It'll likely be a wet one in Florida by December, and the Saints have the power to move the ball on the ground. Moreover, the Saints will have something to play for. The Bucs, likely not. That said, Tampa was able to pull one over the Saints in the regular season finale last year, something New Orleans will have to ensure against this time. Buccaneers have some talent themselves, in Jameis Winston, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, and rookie back Ronald Jones. Saints chances, 53%. After starting 0-2 last season, the Saints put one on the Panthers to kick off an 8-game win streak, and ultimately went 3-0 against their division rivals, including a playoff victory. Carolina could remember that and take advantage at home. This is the first of 2 games these rivals will play in 3 weeks. Saints chances, 54%. One of the Saints' toughest games all season. The Killer Bees present a major challenge, even to this improved defense, and this one could devolve into a shootout. It'll be close, but the good guys should come through if they can maintain their rhythm on offense. Luckily, this one is at home, unlike the Falcons, whose NFC playoff hopes could ultimately hinge on their result in this game, which will be played in Pittsburgh, an important advantage for the Saints. Saints chances, 70%. Starting in Week 11, the Saints are facing a brutal late-season slate against stout NFC competition and looking at 4 division games in their final 6 outings overall. They lost their regular season finale last year, in Tampa, but this time closed things out in their own stadium, with an eye on the playoffs against another NFC South hopeful. The Saints should do the job at home in the finale.